How's it going, Sha?
Okay. Let me go ahead and address the elephant in the room.
Let's do it.
Um, and this may mean very little to our podcast listeners, but I will explain what has happened. And if you watch on YouTube, you will see what the issue is. I have come to today's podcast recording with a hairdo.
Mhm.
Full on hairstyle.
You're killing it though, Sha. It's good.
Yeah, well, it is very fresh, very wet. Don't touch
Okay.
it. Wet paint. The reason we recorded a little bit later than usual, it was not my usual thing where I took a nap and woke up and went, "Oh no." It's I actually was at a natural hair salon, and I got one of my every 10 years somebody else washes my hair for me. So I went to a place. I saw somebody that I follow on Instagram
Okay.
went and got his hair done at a place, and he had pictures, and I looked that person up, and then before I knew it, I'd set up an appointment like a month and a half in advance, like mid-November. I was like, okay, fine. And so I went, and they washed out whatever is in there. I don't know, like car parts, dirt, like a full on pull apart in my hair. I don't know what's in there. And put oil in there so it felt like hair. And they put me under the dryer, which is the key, is to be in one of those under the dryer, the hair dryers that go over your head.
Okay.
That you've seen in, like, I don't know, movies about the 50s or 80s or 90s or whatever. Let me tell you something. This is how long it's been since I've been in like a hair salon. No, I get my hair cut at a barber shop.
Right.
They have a sink that they keep their shoes in. They don't have a hair dryer. Like they're not equipped for wetness. But I hadn't been in a hair salon in a minute, and it was a very it was very nice and tidy, and someone was in there. Two people, I think a mother-daughter team, were in there talking to their stylist and having a grand old time. The hair dryers. Now I'm thinking of if you're thinking of old school, the kind that go over your head, there's a chair with the dryer built into the chair.
Yeah.
And the thing comes out of the back of the chair and goes over your head. Let me tell you something. These bad boys attached to the wall now up top, and it comes down on an arm. Like a
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, you're gonna put me under that? Anyway. I'll text a picture of me in it from it's wild.
So like they turn it on like the microwave, like exhaust, like they got
it's just like the controls are on the hood, on the hairdryer hood itself now. And I guess the dryer, the heating implement, all of that stuff is built into the hood. There's no huge unit. The hood itself is now the unit, and it's connected to a metal arm that will, hinge out and then lower it. And then it's just a plug, a big old plug in the wall. So they can put them wherever they need them and put a chair there. So now you're not like lugging this huge chair around, this heavy chair with a heater built in.
That's cool.
You put it on the wall, and then you just stick a chair underneath it.
I love that.
It's space saving, absolutely. And it looks space age. But I'm like, does this thing work?
Yeah.
The thing it does work, because the old school ones used to just cover your hair, and they kind of sat up high a little bit. Like I was like, my head isn't hot. Oh, my head was hot because I think they used coal in those old ones. But this one, the whole thing comes down to like the bottom of your nose is where it's the whole top 2/3 of your head is in there, all of it, including your face. I didn't have room for my glasses.
Wow.
Like I had taken my glasses off so they could wash my hair. And I thought, I'll put my glasses on and read a book. But they pulled that thing over my head, and I was like, I can't even get in here to put my glasses on. There's no room for them to stick out. So I just had to squint at my phone. the good thing is I wasn't under there for like 2 hours, which is what has happened in the past. Is that when they wash your dreads and they wanted them to be dry, and then they put you under there for 2 hours, just melting. So it wasn't that long, thank goodness.
Okay, so it's gotten faster. That's the improvement.
It's gotten faster, yes. But yeah, so that's where I've been. And also the stylist asked, well, what are we doing? You want to style or anything? And I was like, I mean, I guess so. And she just started laughing at me. She's like, do you have any Christmas parties you're going to? I was like, not really, but I guess it would be good to look nice. I don't know what this woman thought of me. Anyway, I think I tipped her well.
Okay.
So your eyes, if you're watching the YouTube clip, they're not playing tricks on you. I do have some sort of twisted bun on the top of my head, a little Cinnabon looking thing of dreads on the top of my head. I look like, honestly, this means nothing to anyone who's listening. There was a group called Carmen, which was a guy and the girl used to do like a 40 style like spit curl on her head. It was this white girl who could rap really fast, and she did Look at Me Now. That's how they kind of became famous. Right, that was the really fast one, the Busta verse that was all humda 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 humda. That's all I hear when I hear Busta. Humda 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 Busta, and then they go to the chorus. But she could rap that very fast, and she's very good at it, and she dropped all N-words, and I don't know what you put in, sucker or something. Very seamless.
Well done.
So they became known for that, and now she's just a rapper of her own right, named Queen Herbie. But this is what she used to do with her hair. And I didn't realize that until they became YouTube famous. So I didn't realize that until I sat in front of this camera and I was like, oh, goddamn, I look like Carmen. And, so
it's a look, though. It look good.
Yeah, it's a look. It's a look. So we'll see how long it lasts. I'm notoriously hard on looks because I don't sleep pretty. I don't know if you're familiar with women. Once they get their hair done, they can't sleep normal. They have to like sleep with their propped up on their fists or anything so they don't mess up their hair. I don't know if you know about that phenomenon.
Nah.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can wrap things up or whatever, but you also don't want to smush it on one side. So you just kind of prop all the pillows up underneath you. You just lay down on your stomach and you just kind of nod off, like sitting up a little bit. It's whatever. It's a skill. You learn it young. It's a skill.
Okay.
But I haven't had to do that in a while, so we'll see how I sleep.
Well, I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
You're rooting for you to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. This salon, was it nearby you by any chance?
No, it was not.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious, like, if that's like coming into like because we're not that far apart. So I was like, is that like something that's happening around here where like we're getting this type of salon in our area?
No, I had to go to where the West Indians are.
Okay. Okay.
Because I live now where the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans are.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know what to do with black hair.
No, it's different. Yeah.
It's a different kind of hair, different kinds of styles, blah, blah, blah. So the way I understand it, I go to Dominicans if I wanted to blow out my hair super straight.
Right.
But I haven't had to do that since high school. So that's not an issue. And I don't even think there were Dominicans in Atlanta in the 80s yet. They came much later. But I went to Crown Heightsy Flatbush area. I went over to Flatbush. I'm sorry, Prospect Lefford's Garden.
That sounds right.
To my old neighborhood, basically. But yeah, Flatbush.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious, like that, because that, like when I was when I went through like the whole barber excursion that like I'm still kind of dealing with, and like I typed in. I went to tech first, I went on Google to look for barbers. See, like, you know what? I look for everything else online. Let me see if I find something here. Mm-hmm. And like, I look like for top barbers in Brooklyn. And like the places they were recommending sounded great. but it reminded me of a lot of like these descriptions like you were giving there, where like a lot of what was impressive like wasn't necessarily even the haircut, you know?
Right.
You know, like they'll be like, hey, like you could have like a glass of wine with your haircut.
Yes,
I'm like,
right. We have
like,
hot towels and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's dope, but like that wasn't my goal. I'm just trying to get my haircut.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So when you get this hairstyle and you don't know what hairstyle you're going in for,
right,
there's a level of trust there.
Yes.
Like,
Which
does
is
she
like,
show it to you? Do you just say like, do what you
no,
think is best?
I was like, she was like, okay, is this how you normally wear your hair? Like, and she's like, also your haircut. She asked if I normally get my hair shaved on the sides because I hadn't yet. I'm doing that after we're done. This is a day of hair care. Because I tried to get my shape up last week, but the dude had an emergency he had to cancel. So I was like, well, maybe they'll cut hair at the salon, knowing damn well they ain't gonna be able to cut hair at the salon. They do hair, they don't do cuts.
Yeah, just like you said, the barber ain't got no way to clean your head. They don't got no way to do shape ups, bitch.
Right. There was nothing at all. Just like the nuts and berries that they use on the hair. That's all they had in there. No, I don't even know they had scissors, but so yeah, so I she asked if I got it shaved on the sides and back, and I said yes, and she's like, okay, and then she's like, now it's a little like tilted. I said, yes, that is you are correct. You're not, it is cut a little like to the side. It's not like a straight on. And she's like, okay. And then she asked me if I tended to wear it up or to the back or just kind of hanging on the side. And I said, normally it's hanging on the side. If I put it in a ponytail, it's to the, I pull it to the back, but the tops are kind of sticking, the ends are sticking up to the top. I'd never met this woman before. And so those were the questions she asked. And then she's like, okay. And so she started to it's a very simple style because I don't really have a lot of hair to work with. Like it's kind of long, but again, it's only growing out of like basically maybe 1/3 of my head. Just the top
right, because you got
part,
the shave already.
I got the shave part. So it's either a pulling it back or doing a weird thing to it, but I knew I didn't want any like cornrow looking things. It's not for me. I'm not my forehead is a lot more prominent than I let on. You put cornrows in, it's ridiculous. It's like a 5-6 head. So we ain't really doing that.
Okay.
But yeah, so she just kind of took some and rolled them up a little bit in the front, and then the back, she took a few and wrapped it around like rope. I don't know if you can see it, but
it looks dope.
It's wrapped around like rope, and then there's a little part, just kind of a little tail, just kind of hanging to the bottom. And it's a very simple style, but it is also a style that I can't do. Clearly, because I came in like somebody wash me, and so, but yeah, and I'm very happy with it.
Right, and so that's my next question, right? Because like, very very transparent. You pointed it out. I'm Dominican. We have black hair, but we don't treat our hairs the same way. Right. So like, when I see your current hairstyle, and again, I don't want to be ignorant, but I know I'm ignorant here. I don't know the answers. When I see your hair, my question is like, at night, do you take it apart and put it back? Like the rope, because it looks like it's a rope that like you circled it on the top to make the bun. So like at night, like does the whole bun like come off, or do you untangle? Do you leave like place markers? No, I'm gonna leave it
like this. She's pinned it in. So all I'm gonna do is tie a little satin rag around it, right? Okay. A little do-rag action to keep it from getting very fuzzy. But it is like pinned in like that. Now, I've used my own dreads to tie up my dreads before. I've definitely circled them around.
Right, I've seen that, but this does look different.
This is different. Yeah, this is a style. So I will do, because I won't be able, if I take this down, that's it. That's
Right.
the end of this style. I can't get it back up again.
Yeah, that's wild.
So it's pinned up like that, and I will tie it up and again sleep pretty so that I don't mess it up. Yeah, but it's I mean, I think it doesn't hurt, which is great. We'll see how
Okay.
I feel, but sometimes, you got to really pull because they've pulled the hair tight to twist it and also to get it in the style. And normally that's instant, and there are bobby pins in there, so that's like instant headache,
Right, right.
right? But I don't have a headache, so already I'm like, she's the best. If
Rock
I can
on.
walk out of there with a style with no headache, great. But I'm already mentally prepared. Like I already have the Tylenol by my bed, so when I go to bed, I can take a couple and just like because I figured I would need it, but no headache so far. But yeah, so back in the day, like in high school, I had my hair was relaxed. So I had a perm to straighten out the curl pattern and then, wore it straight and then wore it in a style, curled it with the curling iron, um, or crimped it up, crimped it so it went up and all of these things. And then you kept it in that style as long as possible. So that's where you learn how
Right.
to sleep pretty. That's where you tie it up really at night, which you don't only tie up your hair just because you have a style. You tie it up just kind of as a protective thing for the grade of hair that we have. It's easier on cotton like pillowcases. The hair snags, like it gets kind of fuzzy. But if you have like a satiny kind of pillowcase, it glides on it and it doesn't get fuzzy and it doesn't cause breakage and all that kind of stuff. So it's
Okay.
recommended to kind of tie up your hair anyway. That's ultimately what a do rag is. It keeps your hair down, but it's also keeping it from looking fuzzy.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically it, and that's why do-rags are kind of satiny feeling.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so that's what you do to but once you decide to comb that style out or
It's
wash it
gone.
out, it's gone. It's
So
gone.
so how long are you hoping to get out of this? And is
Mm,
that different from most people?
I mean, it does depend. This I'm
Yeah, I'm
hoping
gonna be
to
real with you, Shot. I could talk to you about this the whole show, by the way. I'm like so fascinated by this.
I'm hoping to get it to Atlanta on Christmas Day. If I
Okay.
can get it to my sister on
You get
Christmas
you get a
Day.
week, you get half a week, you happy.
Yeah, yeah, and then we'll see how long it lasts, because it's, I personally, if I'm uncomfortable with something, I will take it out. I don't care how much money I paid for it. If it's not working out for me in the long haul. Like, I once got my hair braided, like, as an adult, and the girl who did it, bless her heart, she did a horrible job. I looked wild. I look wild. And and the person that I went to, I was referred to her by a coworker at the time. So I had to
Yeah.
go to work the next day with this wild looking hair. And my coworker was like, "Hey, that looks great." And I'm like, "Nope, it does not." And then I went home and immediately took all of that shit out and then came into work the following day. And my coworker was like, "What happened?" I was like, I was allergic to the hair. Cause it was like extensions or whatever. I was like,
Yeah.
I was allergic to the hair. It was making me like I broke out and everything. And she's like, "Oh, that's a shame." And I was like, "Yeah, I was allergic as is." What I mean is it was terrible. It looked horrible. I did not care what I paid for that.
You,
Um, I will do
wow.
that. But this I like.
Yeah, this looks
Um,
good.
and I'm gonna see how long I can keep it. Also, I'm not very good at the the discipline necessary to tie the thing every night and, keep it up and all that kind of stuff. I'm kinda lazy. It's why I have dreads, honestly, in the first place.
Okay.
I know a lot of people get dreads or go to their natural hairstyles, um, in a way of, like, reclaiming their natural beauty or just claiming their natural beauty or, maybe there's some sort of, spiritual type of connection and all that kinda stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't wanna fuck with going to a salon and hair and, like, bevelers and curling, all of that stuff. I'm bad at it. I'm bad at keeping my hair looking good, and that's no good for me because I'm a Leo, so I'm a lion, and this is my mane. It's got to look good.
Nah,
Let's
for
just
sure.
do dreads, and then I color it myself. I don't even go any place to get it colored.
Oh, that's dope. I wouldn't have thought that. That's
Yeah,
dope.
I just lighten it myself, but I mean, that's I'm not doing what I used to do, and I mean, I used to really like go after it. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had blue hair and red hair and for all these other colors, and then one time I just got too close and it all fell out or started to fall out, so I just shaved my head completely. That's what I mean, like, I will pull the shoot at any point. I don't we can start all of this over. I do not care. I was born bald and had short hair for, like, the first 4 or 5 years of my life. I don't care.
Yeah. So your hair is under duress. Like, yo, at any point we could go, B. You better
Yes.
act right.
Yes, exactly. I just need you I'm not gonna ask a lot of you. I need you to do a few things. Know that I'm not going to pamper you the way you see others, but don't pay attention to them. Know that I love you.
Uh-huh. Straight up. We
Yeah.
found the one place, the one group of things that shot treats like Elon, okay? All right?
Wait, what?
Mad
Huh?
aggressive, okay?
No,
I expect the
no.
world from y'all at this one thing, okay? I only want diehard hair, okay? You ain't
Mm-mm.
hardcore hair?
No. Not at all. I put as little effort into it as possible. I keep it clean. I twist it myself.
Nah, that's what's up.
And that's about it. I lighten it occasionally. Now, if you want something cute, well,
This is dope though, for real. I really like
yeah,
this look. It's
I'm
ill.
I'm okay with this, but
You know, I find it interesting that like you say like to reconnect, a lot of people
mhm,
go back to like more natural looks. I've always had Caesars and fades, like since I've been like
mhm,
11. Um I to reconnect with being Dominican I had
mhm.
to like get processed hair. So like one day when I was like a manager, I was like, let me gel this shit out, feel like my culture. Let me wear like a tight shirt and shit, Uh and like it was like one of the few times where like I'd missed like a couple cuts, so I had enough hair where I could do something. And like at the time, my brother-in-law, he was cutting hair still. So I had him like he does like that Spanish shit. So I
Mhm.
was like, yo, let me
That
do
Spanish shit.
yeah, I was like, the thing you do that to me. I got enough hair for it. So he comes over and like he does it. And like Gabby looks at it and she's like, is good and bad.
Okay.
And I'm like, what that means? She's like, it looks good, it looks wrong.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean? Because she's like, you don't got to, like, you look mad, and that's not the energy when you have this type of hair. Like, this type of hair on a dude is supposed to be like, hey, let's dance. And you look like, get the
Right.
fuck away from me. You know what I mean? So, like, it don't match. And she's like, you look angrier, if anything, now that you have this hair. Uh,
Okay.
but I
Um,
tried it for like a week, I got up early, I did the gel thing. I didn't like it because I was still working as a furniture store manager, and like I felt like like people were treating me different. Like customers were asking me way more to translate in
right.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Uh, they were asking me more for help, whereas before,
Mm.
like it was like, nah, don't fuck with them. Uh, and like just the way people approach you I got way more poppies than I've ever gotten in my life. Uh,
Ah.
so like it
Mhm.
was very like apparent I was Latino, which is all dope. Like that's cool. It's just
Mhm.
I definitely identify as Latin, but I identify as Brooklyn first. And that like
Right.
threw me off a lot. So like
Hmm.
yeah, like there was just a lot of moments where like the way I initially act and project did not match
Mhm.
my hair. And it
Wow,
was
that's
confusing people.
that's kinda wild. Oh,
Yeah.
I kinda love that. Wait, is your hair naturally curly at all?
It does. It curls
It
a
curls?
bit, yeah, but
Mhm.
this was like a gelled straight look kinda. It was weird.
Oh,
So
okay.
kinda like what you have like when you shave the sides and
Yes.
then the top he gelled it and kind of spun it. So it did like a weird thing that like it's not my vibe, yo. Like Like right off the bat, as soon as it was done, he's like, "Yo, you can't wear hats." I was like, "Yo, we didn't talk about that before."
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
That's
That's
my
very
whole shit.
true.
And he's like, "Nah, you can't wear it because that this is as tall as that."
Mhm.
So like, it was like a circle. It
Oh
stood,
my god, that's so funny,
yo,
Gastor.
and I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. And then like the other thing, like by the end of the day,
Mhm.
uh, if I hadn't done like a mid lunch gel, you know, like a re-gel for the day, my hair would be straight, but like to the left because it was enough. The whole goal was to spin it with the
Right?
gel, so it would be straight if I spun it. But if it had gotten straight, it was like to the side. You know, if they'd gotten
Uh,
dry. So I was like, I can't
yeah,
have this look. It's too much maintenance for me. I cut my hair. I don't think about it for 2 weeks. That's my
yeah.
life. This was
That's
stress.
are there any photos of you like that?
I highly doubt it because I was not
Good
happy.
for you.
I was
Good for
not
you.
happy. Yeah. This was yeah. If they're photos, they're somewhere in the cell phones of anybody that worked with me at Bob's Furniture in Yonkers for that 2 weeks that like saw the discomfort in my face. But like my kids were too young to realize this was a moment.
Mm.
Um, my wife, I think, knew like, yeah, I gotta leave him alone.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, like, and
You
yeah,
wanna give it a shot.
I tried it. Like, I was like, let me experiment with this. You know, what I mean? I don't know what it was, but like, I definitely had like a lot of DR pride that like time. And like
Mhm.
I was like, let me try to like reconnect it with this because admittedly, like, you know, like I wasn't home, you know, like so I wasn't getting like the Spanish food, which is how I connect with my culture.
Right.
So I was like, let me try this, you know what I mean? And instantly I knew, yeah, this ain't comfortable. But I also like I'm an adult. I was like, I know that there's times when like you have to push past that to really give it
Right.
a fair chance.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I tried it and I was it's just not for me. I gave it a whole week run, you know. The look don't match.
No, yeah.
The
Look doesn't
maintenance
match
ain't
the
for me.
energy. I
Yeah,
understand that.
it's a 2 a day apply, end of day unapply, right? You gotta like wash
Right.
it out too. Like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I don't think about that shit. My hair, like,
Right.
is once you know, when I cut my hair, when I'm talking
Mm.
to you and I realize I should have shaved before this episode. And then I shaved the next week. That is it. That whenever you see me like looking at myself too much during the episode, the
Uh-huh.
next week, right before the episode, I shave because I remember that feeling. And I'm like, yep, I
That's
gotta cut that off.
that's very
That's how
funny.
little hair maintenance goes in
Mhm.
my mind. And
Mm.
then this thing was like daily. And then everything started making sense because like when I would go pick up Gabby from like her in-laws, we'd be waiting for her brothers and they're doing this hair process.
Right,
There's three
yeah.
grown men sharing the bathroom, going through all this shit. And
I
I'm like,
mean, that's yeah, that's what happens. Yeah.
madness.
No, I mean, I definitely, I'm now listening to you and thinking about it. I've had dreads for longer than I had straight hair.
Okay.
Um, because I only had, like, relaxers and stuff through, probably until, I was, like, 24 or something like that, and then I stopped with them, and then
Yeah.
it's just been various levels of dreads or, just short hair, back into dreads, back into short hair, whatever. Um, but, yeah, all the stuff that went with it, like, like I said, I just didn't wanna do it, and I was so bad at it that even when I had straight hair in high school, the style at the time was the asymmetrical haircut,
Okay.
the asymmetrical bob, right? Longer on one side and real short, like, halfway through your face on the
On the
other
other.
side, and then, like, a bang ball, no matter black or white, a bang ball, is just a your bangs just in a teased ball right on the top in the middle of your forehead. That's what was popping no matter what. And, I didn't do that, and so what I would do is I'd go to the salon and I'd get the relaxer, get the touch-ups, and they'd do whatever, curl the hair and everything, and then I'd walk to the bus stop to go home, and I'm trying to finger comb that shit out, because I'm just gonna let it just kinda hang,
Yeah.
and that's not necessarily what people were what black women were doing, like, letting it just kinda hang with no real, like, structure.
Right, right.
And my mother was just like, "What? Alright, I can't I don't know, I can't fight it." Like, anything that she would say, like, "You should why don't you leave the curl or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you literally have a natural right now telling me what to do. You don't even get this. You made that decision in like 68 or something. Like, you're going to cut your hair to an afro and you're not going to wear wigs anymore. So hush. She's like, I mean, that's fair.
This ain't your lane.
Okay. All right. You got me on that one. But before that, when my hair was a little bit shorter before it could hang, I would wear it spiky. So I would slick back the sides and then I would spike it up. And then I would just leave whatever mousse in there and add more the next day. You know, it was just a build up. And then finally I'd flake it out. And then, but yeah, like, yeah, 8th and 9th grade. That's definitely what I was doing. And then at some point it just kept flopping over. And I was like, oh, I guess it's long enough to do that. But
Hey,
there are people who have known me for years and years and years. And they see a picture of me in high school and they were like, holy shit, your hair was straight. I'm
yo.
like, I mean, yeah, yes, that's what happens.
Now me, same cut, baby. Running
Yeah.
hard. I will say that 1 week, my mom connected with me a lot because she like, oh, you understand, because she does her hair like weekly,
Mhm.
and there's like a process. That was our Sundays. We would all go to my grandma's and I'd watch all of my aunts and my mom do their hair. And they
Mhm.
had like 4 of those machines that like the take home versions of the
Oh,
hair bucket that you had to like bring your own.
yes.
Yeah. We would
Yeah,
just
I
leave them
have
at
one.
grandma's.
I have one. I believe my sister has it. I left it with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had one, yeah, take home one that you just put on the table. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I wish I had that up here." But I'm also like, "Am I gonna fly from Atlanta to New York with a fucking hair dryer?" Like, am I gonna check this on the plane? Am I gonna put this in overhead? No, it's not that crucial. I'll just have fuzzy dreads for the whole time that I'm here. Nobody cares. Nobody
Yo,
cares.
yo, I'm telling you, it's too much. Every time I saw it,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, like, we could be bonding, Like, but it was their time. They would sit there, they would yell at each other, they would read
Yes,
books, and it was like a weird whisper yelling because, like, only they could hear each other because the sound of the machines was loud.
right.
They had to project, and like, if you walked through, like, you still couldn't fully get it because you had to be there a while to
Mhm.
retune your ears to the new noise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Everything was in there. If you first walk into a salon, and you got dryers in the back, 4 dryers going in the back, and then you got the music playing, and then
yeah,
you got people yelling over the dryer and then yelling to all of that stuff. But then when you're sitting in the chair, the person who's doing your hair is singing along to the music, and it's more of a hum. So that's a real quiet,
yeah,
intimate sound. And then, or whoever's washing your hair is just kind of murmuring at you. And you have to learn what different actions mean because you can't hear anything. So when they do something with their hand, you're like, oh, sit up. Or,
right,
oh,
right.
readjust the towel, all that stuff. And that shit, if you go to the salon long enough in your formative years, that shit is in you. And I found that out today when the woman did so. She was like, okay, sit back. And I was like, I haven't been in one of those chairs in a minute, but I know I got to do this thing with my shoulders and put my head back, not all the way, but just rest it on the thing. Like, yeah, all of that shit came back to me like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's wild.
Straight
It's
up,
wild.
yo.
Yeah, so
That's beautiful, man.
mhm,
I love to hear it. I love to hear it.
yeah. I'm just happy I found someone in New York that will do that. That seems to be,
Yeah, they're
you know,
competent.
competent, and I don't have a headache. I occasionally would go to someone in Atlanta. The name of the place was Oh My Nappy Hair.
Okay,
Shout
okay.
out to Oh My Nappy Hair in
That's what it
downtown
is.
Atlanta. I picked it partially for that name.
Shouts to old my nappy hair. That's what it is. We've lived very different hair lives, Shot. Just so you know,
Yes, we have. Yeah, we have.
I don't think any barbershop I've been to has had a sign. Like every barbershop I've been to, like it's just like there's lights maybe,
Mhm,
but like there's no logo. It's just like I know it's a barbershop because I see the people inside. But there's
mhm.
no like name brand. It's just, yeah, we a barbershop.
So then there's no, like, color scheme or anything?
Like the insides look cool, but like the
Mhm.
outside, like there's no banner. Like it's just like, yeah, that's what we do. You get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't need one for barbershops because there are usually, like, 5 guys in
Yeah.
there and only 2 of them are getting cuts.
Word. They're not expanding either. They're like, nah, this is the business.
No, this is good. This is good. Those three, they just sit there all day. Like, that's legit. If you've seen the movie Barbershop, they ain't lying.
That is the life.
There are at least two old men who are just chilling.
I aspire to be one.
I think you're on your way. I feel like you're on your way.
Hey, man, look at that. It all comes around, baby. Let's get into the news.
Alrighty.
Elon Musk says he will step down as Twitter CEO, Sha, once he finds a replacement.
Oh, boy. Hey, man, were you on Twitter when all that shit was going down?
Hell yeah, I loved it.
My man, look. Okay, so you were on there when he was like, when suddenly they were like, we are, okay, there was a 1-2 thing, right? I don't know if this will cover it, but the journalist thing.
Okay.
Where he, I guess, suspended the accounts of some journalists who were reporting on Elon's jet, the Twitter account called Elon's Jet. And all that account just used publicly available information to track where his jet was at any point, right? And they would tweet that out. Again, publicly available information. And so Elon said a whole thing of like, you blowing up my spot, basically, and people who want to assassinate me, you're giving them the assassination coordinates, I believe was the term he used. So he shut that down, right? And so then there were reporters who were reporting on the fact that Elon shut that down. And to report on it, they included like Elon's like tweet of like, hey, here's what Elon said, and then he shut the thing down.
Right.
And then Elon shut down those journalists for retweeting all of the information or putting out all of the information so they can still tell him. He said he was in the car with Lil X and someone attacked the car, and then the cops had to come and all this stuff. Okay, first of all, Lil X, it turns out, is a son, not Lil Nas X, because I was like, why the fuck was he hanging out with Lil Nas X? And then secondly, he never filed a report, so if that happened, so he suspended all those journalists, right? So then other journalists had Twitter Spaces, which was their version of Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And I listened to it. I was on that. I listened to it for about 30 minutes, and then I just kind of turned it off and went to sleep. So I guess at some point after I turned it off, Elon came onto the Spaces to try and, I don't know, get people to like him. And so someone was just like, asked them just like, okay, but why would you realize they did that to report the story, and no one was trying to do that thing. So you're okay with that, but you're not okay with, and they gave some other example of something else.
Yeah.
And Elon was just like, oh, humada. And then 30 minutes later, shut down the space. He got off the call, off of the Spaces, shut down that particular
space
one.
Yeah.
And then shut down Spaces altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was reinstated within 2 days. Then, because he's up. People were like, really? And he's like, you don't like me now? And then he put it all back. And then Twitter announced, if you're mentioning another social media entity
right
in a tweet, you will be suspended. So no links, none of the links to IG, I think maybe Facebook, any of the ones that people were talking about going to, Mastodon, Post, a few other ones that he named, including one that Jack, who was the originator of Twitter, that Jack Dorsey guy, one that he said he's coming up with. Elon named them all, and it was just like, you can't have them in there. We're closing down those accounts. If you mention it, even if you say follow me at, or you can find me at, we're fucking shutting that down too. No other mention of it. So people were like, bruh, the fuck are you doing? So that was all day. And then at some point he tweeted out, do you want me to step down? Should I step down? Maybe I just, you know what? Y'all vote and I will do whatever this poll says.
Right.
So 57% of people said, yeah.
Yeah, we don't need you, my G.
Yeah, bruh.
And
And so
it
then now,
was the most responded to of all his polls. It said like almost 2 million heads. Like,
yeah, I know.
yo, that shit crazy.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, that's what I understand to be true. What is CNN Business saying?
I mean, you covered the article, shall we? Good.
That was it? Because I watched all that shit happen. I was like, this motherfucker.
What had me bugging is like, this dude talks all the time on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the poll popped off, my man went silent.
Mm.
So like the whole next day after the poll results was live and finalized is the first time that he wasn't tweeting.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think like kind of like that's kind of what you were saying finally cemented with me, where like he wants to be loved. I think it like really broke his reality. Like, oh shit, like 2 million of my followers said nah. Like,
right.
we don't want you to do this no more. Like
Yeah.
that, I think that messed with his head. I think he needed to like step away and like reformat that truth. Like he needed to come up with excuses of how that could happen and him still be loved in his head.
Well, here's the other thing that I don't know if this is going to cover, but if you were on Twitter watching, you saw this information going just bubbling throughout. He was apparently in Qatar watching the World Cup final.
Oh man, wow.
While this shit was happening. And so people kept tweeting out a picture of him with the I guess the muckety mucks from Saudi Arabia, who are really the people who bankrolled him being able to buy Twitter.
Yeah.
So they're the investors. And Jared Kushner was there too. And and so because apparently someone who was at Qatar, like in that area, tweeted out, okay, I just saw Elon Musk like talking up Twitter and trying to get folks to like give more money or something to the Saudi Arabians, and they're not buying it. And they're just like, yeah, maybe if someone else needs to be in charge of it.
Yeah.
Like, and so everyone's like, oh, so this whole I'll do whatever the poll says is really just for outward facing so he can like try to save face. But honestly, he's been told by the people with the money who's backing him, you need to go.
Yeah, B. You
And
messing up the bag.
you need to figure out how to go. And also Tesla stock has dropped because a bunch of like people who have money in Tesla, a lot of Tesla stock owners are like, hey man, remember this company?
Word.
Like, we are losing money because you putting around
on this other nonsense.
Twitter. Yeah. And you're looking crazy while you do it.
Yeah.
So that was going around as well. And also that whole thing of you can't mention any other
socials
links, social media, was probably honestly kicked off because there are some people who worked at Twitter who were let go from Twitter or ended up leaving in the Twitter exodus that are starting their own thing.
Right.
And it's going to be called Spill, I think.
Oh.
And so like Thursday, Friday, maybe something like that. Maybe, yeah. These tweets would kind of show up. I saw someone tweet out like, hey, this is by people who were at Twitter. They're starting a new thing. They're hoping to kick it off by the end of January 2023. You can reserve your username. Go here to reserve your. So I looked, and sure enough, I went ahead and reserved. I got to be Silky Jumbo everywhere. That's why I pay close attention, so I can get to the Silky Jumbo before anyone else and just squat there. And so yeah, like he. So I think that is probably those. It wasn't like a widespread thing. I only saw one person, maybe two people, tweet about it.
Right.
But that's enough. Those two people have a lot of followers, and that was enough. One of those people was enough for me to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably what had Elon shook, because those are folks who were at Twitter.
Yeah, so he knows it's going to be a product.
Yeah. So he knows they know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So like, what did he think they were going to do? Did he think they were just going to weep? Did he think they were just going to like, oh, well, I guess that's the end of that.
Career
You
over.
idiot. Yeah. So and then later that came out. So when I saw the whole banning thing, I was like, oh, is this because of spill? Probably. Because he never named spill as one of the things.
Right.
I don't know, man.
I feel like he spent $44 billion on this.
Mm-hmm.
The dude is worth, I don't know, $100 billion or something. I don't even know at this point. It's a lot of money.
I think so.
I feel like he could have sent everybody like a check, and this would have worked way better in his favor.
What do you mean? Send who a check?
Like literally the country. He could have been like, yo, I'm trying to be like, well, like, I know I'm an asshole. We just went through a pandemic. Every household in America, $1,000 on me. Like,
here's the thing. He could have ended world hunger.
Yeah.
Remember that deal?
Straight up, world hunger, 44 bill. Here you go. Know what I mean? That's a lot of burgers. Go crazy. Make chili in all the hoods.
What do you think keeps him from doing that? Why do you think because there's plenty of good. He wants to be everybody's friend, right? There's something, and I think there's some sort of sadness or weirdness. And that is what keeps him from doing good. Like he doesn't see where doing something good could be helpful.
Yeah.
When he could just poke the bear and be like, look, everyone's paying attention to me. Why do you think he won't just, I mean, look, Bill Gates, wasn't he at one time a super rich dude?
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, granted, he clearly is not the best.
Right.
But you know, I don't know, he was trying to stop malaria or some shit. I don't know. I mean, like
yeah, I don't get it. I sincerely, like, real talk, if I ever got to that money, I think I figured out what I would do. I would make chili in every hood. Chili is healthy-ish, cheap food. It's filling. It's sustenance.
That's a ridiculous idea.
I would just be like, yo, there's free chili everywhere. Like, I would put
that's terrible. My reflux, just hearing you say that is like, what am I going to do?
Chili and oatmeal.
No.
You got oatmeal. I got chili. Like, anywhere there's a water fountain.
Just cut the check.
Cut the check?
Cut a check.
I like cooking.
I'm sitting here. Well, do that on your own time. I like cooking.
You had Gastor chili? This is crazy. Best billionaire ever. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what kind of world you live on where people would accept chili over a check.
No, that I agree with. Okay, I agree. They would take the check over chili. But I will say this. I feel like if I was like the chili billionaire, I would still be the most well-liked billionaire. Like, I don't get this dude, but he's giving us chili. Like, everywhere there's a water fountain, I want there to be a chili fountain. Like, you just have free chili.
Will there also be a toilet?
Yeah. You got to put like little, porta potties in the hood. Porta potty, water fountain, chili fountain.
Honestly, public bathrooms, that's my platform.
I like that.
True public bathrooms. And people to keep them clean and stocked.
Yeah. I like this.
For sure. Absolutely. That's a thing I would do because that's necessary.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to be giving people chili.
Yo, some chili. I was staying on
or
chili.
Oatmeal. I mean, either one is going to be a colon blow of massive proportions.
I wanted a regular America. Okay.
That's not the way to do it. Mail everybody
fiber
a couple of sleeves of like Benefiber.
Okay.
Those little sleeves that you can put in the, like a Molly size serving. Slipping yourself a little. I mean, that's what I do. I give myself a little.
Like
I slip myself a fiber Mickey, and then I keep it moving.
Yo, real talk though. I feel like if I had that kind of money, I would ensure that there's like 3 foods that you can get for free at any time of day. They don't need to be incredible, but they need to be like they're healthy. Like some like I said, like boiled eggs and oatmeal for breakfast.
Mhm.
Like a chili during the winter or something, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like 3 like basic meals that like I know are filling, they're affordable to make, and it shouldn't, like, any restaurant you go into, you could get other foods, but if somebody says, yeah, I need this free, you should be able to get it free. Cause like there's a general public, you know what I mean? I feel like everybody should be able to eat, and I think there's enough money to figure that out. And
Mhm.
that way food is gone as a budgetary thing. Like, yo, times is
Oh,
rough this month, B. We eating chili all month. Cool.
right. Ugh, boy. Yeah. I would like to see that kind of stuff done at grocery stores, but I also want it to hit whatever happens before the food gets to a grocery store so that they're not too expensive anyway.
Right.
I'm just saying, I just saw my eggs for $7.59 a gallon.
That
I
is
mean, not a gallon, a dozen,
that
and
is
that's a
wild.
lot.
That's
That's a lot.
wild. That's
I'm
wild.
like, I mean, I know they're jumbo, but like, come on. 7? I looked at that tag. I tapped that tag with my finger trying to knock the 7 off to let
Yo,
it roll back Walmart style down to like a 4 or a 3. I was like, they don't mean 7.
yo, at $7 a dozen, I would literally handshake every egg to make sure they fill. Like, yeah, I need to make sure I'm getting enough yolk
Oh,
for my dollar.
yes. Yeah, I should be able to open up all the cartons and pick out the 12 best eggs.
He's my 12B. Yep. I pick my
All
eggs
right.
like I pick my avocados, yo. You know
Right? Just thumping them.
In other news, Lionel Messi and Argentina players left the World Cup parade by helicopter due to the crowd
Oh.
size. That's right.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy. Crowd was estimated to be as large as 5 million people in Buenos Aires there to celebrate the 2022 FIFA World Cup victory of a team from Argentina. Let's see here. The people attending made it impossible at times for the open top bus carrying the players and the coaching staff to even advance to the capital. Portions of the parade route were completely blocked off with fans, which forced changes to be made to the route. Additionally, some fans attempted to jump onto the team bus, and at least 18 people were reported to have injuries. The team bus was forced to drive to a nearby school before players boarded helicopters to return to their training facility just outside the Argentine capital. Claudio Tapia, president of the Argentinian Football Association, released a statement on Twitter saying, "We are not allowed to arrive to greet all the people who were at the obelisk. The same security forces that were escorting us did not allow us to move forward. 1,000 apologies on behalf of all of the champion players. The world champions are flying over the parade route in helicopters because it was impossible to continue on the ground, according to the presidential
No, so
spokesperson."
I'm just supposed to cheer up? Yay! That's what I'm supposed to do?
Yo, you 5 million deep. You waited
Hooray!
for 4 hours, and they're like, "Yo, look at that helicopter. Yeah,
There
that's
are
your
5
peoples."
million people in the streets, and we're all just supposed to look up at the helicopters.
Yo, that's them. Yo, that's them. You know what I'm saying? Not even, I just thought about it, Sha. They ain't even, they read about it after it happened. They be like, "Oh, you
Right.
remember them helicopters? Yeah, that was them."
Yeah, that was them.
Yo, that's crazy, yo.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Oh my God. Yo, shouts to Argentina. Not necessarily for winning, but for doing this. This is gangster.
Yeah, man, I hope, I guess they get bragging rights for what, the next 4 years, but I
Yeah,
feel like let's ride this out until infinity.
real talk. I would show up everywhere in helicopters now. Straight up. That's awesome.
Wow.
In other news, Arizona police ticketed a driver for carpooling with an inflatable Grinch. That's right. The Arizona Department of Public Safety says a state trooper last week noticed a car in the high occupancy vehicle lane on the Interstate 10 in Phoenix with the suspicious looking green passenger. While the gag may have caused the officer's heart to grow, it did not stop the driver from getting cited for being in the HOV lane during the restricted time. The agency, however, could not help but to post a photo of the Grinch figure with the driver's face blurred on his Twitter account.
Don't do that. Don't let them use you for likes. Don't let them use you for clicks.
You got a ticket and
Yo,
they
if
making
you
merch.
gonna give me a ticket and you gonna put my shit out here so it can be picked up by media takeout or some shit. No.
Real talk.
No. This needs to be a warning. If you're gonna use me and my bright idea for clout, then this needs to be a warning.
Real talk. And you put, and it's not like they blurred his face, but they left his car, his shirt, his
all of that.
You can still know it's him.
Yes, if you know this person, you know that car because he has a lot of crap in the front.
Yo,
and there are a lot of beads hanging in it. That ain't right.
That's grimy.
But also, sir or madam, dude, come on, do better. Do you know we got real lifelike dolls that you could use?
Yeah, you went green.
Oh yeah, you don't use the Grinch now. You angling for
real
clout.
Talk.
Like everybody's doing it for clout in this case.
At least put him in the back seat. You know what I mean?
Like, just like, come on. You put a real one in a real looking doll in the front and then have the Grinch in the back and then have them go, well, that's not a person. And you're like, that's right. And they're like, what about the person sitting next to you? And you're like, oh, she's asleep. And then
now you good.
Yeah, but come on now. You were pushing it.
Grinch can't be man B. You know what I mean? No way Grinch shot a shotgun. All right? Come on, B. Get your mind right over there, Arizona.
Yeah, cut it out. Everyone's doing it for the gram on this one. This is all for the Vine, and no one wants that.
Yo, real talk. I'm so hoping to see like somebody's like new account be like Grinch's chauffeur. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
It'd be like the new like gnomes and whatever. The Georgia House Republican arrested on drug and theft charges. That's right. An incoming Georgia state representative has been arrested after investigators said he stole prescription narcotics at the retirement complex he manages. Danny Ramsey, he doing time now. 67 of Stanton was arrested Thursday, jail records show. He was charged with 6 counts of obtaining drugs by misrepresentation or theft, 6 counts of exploiting an elder or disabled adult, 5 counts of burglary, and 1 count of drug possession. Ramsey remained in jail with no bail set. It's unclear if he has a lawyer. Ramsey, a Republican, faced no general election opposition in his November victory in House District 119, which includes most of Barrow County. Terry England, the current office holder, is retiring. Ramsey easily won an early GOP primary.
Okay. He was arrested at Magnolia Estates of Winder. You doing this out here in Winder? Come on, bro.
Scheduled to be sworn in January 9th.
Well, no, I don't think you're going to make it.
Yo, you know that, real talk. I don't know the answer. I'm assuming no. If this happens January 10th, does he get to do the job from jail?
I don't know if they have stand-ins or like not understudies. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yo, you got a backup quarterback for the house? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I don't know who's second string for state representatives.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Like if I own my business, I know if I go to jail, I can still run my business from jail. But I know my job would fire me.
Wait. Oh, yeah. Job would fire you. You own your business. What do? Do you pass it over to someone else or can you make calls from
That's what I'm saying. It would depend. Yeah, like the type of thing. Like what there's certain businesses I still think I could manage from jail. If you got enough phone calls and email.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, I guess there's no like law against that unless it's in the crime.
Right. Like I'm assuming like you can't like get arrested for like, finance stuff and like run a brokerage firm.
Yes. Well, okay. So I'm guessing then that he's not going to be able to continue to manage the Magnolia Estates of Winder.
Right.
Like I feel like he cannot do that. Yes.
Right. That's what I'm assuming. But he can still hold his seat. He got elected fair and square. There's nobody else with the job. Other dude retiring.
I don't know. I mean,
like now I'm assuming no because he didn't get sworn in. But if he got sworn in, I don't see how he loses that seat.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't see how he loses it without being sworn in.
Word.
He was unopposed. He could. I don't know if he'll get to be sworn in. I
Right.
wonder if they'll still be like, "Well, I mean, that had nothing to do with this job you're
Yeah.
about to do. So just go ahead and we'll swear you in, and then it will take you back to your cell." Um, and or if the people there will be like, "Well, I mean, he's still a real nice guy to me. I mean, I think we still could use him."
I'm telling you.
I mean, honestly, I bet it just stays empty.
And they
I
stay
bet it just
unwrapped.
stays yeah, it just stays the position just stays empty until they can have a I don't know, a referendum vote or another kind of special election is what
Right.
I'm thinking of. Like, I bet that's what will happen is that it'll just stay empty for the time being.
Hmm. Okay.
Unless I would say, if he knows anybody who could cut him a break, but I think he would be the person that would step up to cut him a break. So,
Oh man. Yo, real
but
talk.
again,
You did
I
something
don't
grimy here, but
yeah,
I
but
am rooting for him.
don't count out the good old boy network.
Yeah, like it's strong here.
Never, especially in Georgia proper, never count it out. Never count it out.
Real
My
talk.
man will be standing with his hand on a Bible lying in 3 weeks.
Do this all the time, baby.
Yeah, this ain't nothing.
Yeah, like I don't want him to win because of him, but I want him to win to know that it's possible. Is that like weird? Like I want to know.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I don't know. I like knowing that there's weird loopholes and everything. That's cool.
Yeah, that's great, but yeah, that's still weird.
Finally, Alicia Silverstone poses nude for PETA. Alicia Silverstone is going nude in the name of animals. The actress stars in a PETA campaign against the use of leather with the slogan "Wear vegan, buy cactus mushroom or apple leather instead." PETA released a behind-the-scenes video featuring Silverstone being photographed for the campaign. If it takes me getting naked for you to care about animals, then that is what I'm after, she says in the video. I never ever get naked, Silverstone explains about her acting work, adding that she wants to be conscious of the earth, so she's willing to do it now. My dream is to get these vegan, earth-friendly materials into the hands of famous designers. I'd rather go naked than wear animals, she says. Silverstone, a vegan, also posed for PETA in their 2020 campaign against eating meat.
Also posed nude for PETA
Yeah.
in 2020.
So she does get naked.
Also, yeah, she does get naked. She did it 2.5 years ago. Also, I'm pretty sure she did this shit in like 2000. When you said Alicia Silverstone poses nude for PETA, I was like, again? But I wasn't even thinking about the 2020. I was thinking about a younger one.
Alicia, do you wear clothes at this point? You know what I mean?
I mean, I really was. My first thought was, this bitch stay naked for PETA. That was my initial thought when you said that. I was like, when is this not naked for PETA?
Stop using PETA as a cover, okay?
Yeah, just be naked.
You don't know nobody at PETA. PETA's like, why she keep throwing us in this shit? We don't even know this shit.
Who put this news in the paper?
You publicist, you did this? Nah, we ain't hire you for this nonsense. Apple leather. I don't even know how you make that shit. Apple, that's on us.
Oh yeah, no, that's what's hot right now. I did just read about mushroom leather.
Mushroom and apple leather.
Yeah, I guess you just take the skins and scrape off all the apple meat, and then you just have the apple skins, and then you stitch it together. I don't know. I guess we got to ask chinchillas. Like we really, they ask.
Yo, chinchillas, y'all doing a lot to stay safe right now. Real talk, B.
I mean, look, we turn into apples.
Yo,
we turn into cacti.
Over here wearing pants that I want to put cinnamon on because of you. Okay, I can't do it. Okay,
I know.
Apple leather.
And then which apples?
Yeah, word.
I mean, how?
What are your favorite apples, by the way? You have a preference?
I'm a Fuji.
Okay, which ones are those?
They're red with a little bit of green. They're pretty sweet.
Okay.
I like that. I mean, I wouldn't eat necessarily a Granny Smith. They're tart, but I mean, I think they work well. I think they're supposed to work best in a pie.
Okay.
I feel like my sister was a Granny Smith person.
Ooh.
But I like Fuji. Maybe a Macintosh. I think Macintosh is supposed to be good.
Yeah, I'm a Macintosh dude. Admittedly, like I feel like if I talk to like an Apple person though, like I feel like that's
Mhm.
like saying like, you know, like I like Nikes. Like it's not like niche enough for them.
There's something with a do. Oh, I gotta look at the names. I did a taste testing with my roommate Kevin on apples.
Okay.
And we looked up a bunch of, and there were so many different kinds. And I was just like, oh shit. I didn't know what we had stepped in.
Yo, it gets real. People get serious about Apple games.
Real.
I
And
know.
I already knew that it was serious, but I was just like, oh no.
I know. My cousin is really big into this, and like, they like went nuts about. Was it Honey Crisp?
Yeah. That's it.
Right? Like
The Honey Crisp.
It sounded like a cereal to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yo, she was like,
Nah,
nah, this is
kid.
the shit. And like,
Yeah, the Honey Crisp, that one I do remember being like, yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
like she like in her crib, like she was like, nah, that's all I buy. Like she was adamant. She was like, oh, can I have an apple? And then like she like I set her off when I said that shit. I was like, because they admittedly looked good, and she was like, oh, those are Honey Crisp, and she's like, yeah, blah blah, you know, like they like were voted the top apple 4 years in a row. And I'm like, you reading Apple journals and shit? She's like, yo, I'm big. She's big on like vegan and fruits and veggies, so she like is into the niche of all that.
You need to know.
Yo,
you need to know.
She's like, I went to what do you call those things? The where they sell
farmers market?
Yeah, she's like, I went to a farmer's market. Yeah. I'm so happy you saved me because my description was going to be crazy. Sincerely. I had no idea how to describe that, and I know the words that would have came out of my mouth would have been wow. They would have revealed the lack of culture in my life.
I was like, there's no way he... I'm sorry.
Yo, straight up.
I was like, no.
Because like the first shit I thought of, I was like,
softly.
you know those things they have in Portland? And
damn. I'm sorry I came in so quickly with the answer because I really should have let you cook on that one.
Oh man. If you would like for a very niche Gastor and Shalewa
goes to the farmer's market.
Goes to the farmer's market, okay? Curated by us specifically. All you gotta do is like, subscribe to the show, baby. If you are an Apple, Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You don't understand how well curated this would be, okay? Super specific. All right. We about to have Honey Crisp Tim's, okay?
Oh wow, yeah, that's
real
true.
talk. That could be a look. You know what I mean? With the leather. Yo, that would be ill if like the leather is made by the specific apples, and then people like that becomes a thing. Like, oh yeah, I got like the Honey Crisp Jordans. You know what I mean? Yo. That should be fire, yo. You got them new Honey Crisp Jordans? It's crazy, B.
It'll be something.
Yo, my Jordans is all Macintosh, kid. Crazy.
Oh wow, yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I don't know.
The Granny Smiths.
Yo. 5 stars, you see the vision, okay? It sells itself, all right? To who? I don't know, but someone buying it, okay?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Somebody...
Alicia Silverstone, please, let us get her dressed.
Somebody bought them little Nas S sneakers where you put blood in them. This is way more, you know what I mean? This makes more sense.
True.
All right. Yeah. If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter and Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs to Black Girl Green World and FCBLJ for sharing articles this week. With all that said, I am the future Macintosh tycoon of clothing, Gastor Almonte, with the most varied sets of applesauce in the farmer's market, Shalewa Sharpe.
Yeah, I definitely would be getting into the sauce of it all. That is true.
I want these now. I sincerely want like applesauce made by these different apples. I want to do that taste test.
Yeah, I absolutely would do that because I do enjoy applesauce.
Applesauce is dope. It's slept on. Now, I mean, it says no fiber, so it's just bad for you, but it's good.
No, applesauce has fiber.
It does? I thought that was the whole point. It was like apples without the fiber and mad sugar.
Oh, no. Well, there can be a lot of sugar, but yeah, if you Yeah, applesauce will definitely keep you a little regular. They definitely poke things in the right direction.
There we
I
go.
have for sure eaten applesauce and gone, oh no.
There you go.
So yes.
All right, so we got.
Which is, yeah.
We'll
no, it's
add
fine.
those. We're gonna add applesauce fountains next to the chili fountains, next to the water fountains too. So let's make all that happen. You know what I mean? This has been an industrious episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.